Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Uh. Hello, Kaiwan. Kaiwan, you are literally the only person left in the GH fandom that gives a rat's ass about Susan Moore. Alright. Hey, everyone. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend and week. Lots to discuss today. Well, not lots, but we got some stuff to discuss today. It's weird because we kind of recapped a bit. Well, we recapped a lot on Wednesday and, from even Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's episodes. So there's not a whole lot left to talk about. So storyline-wise, we're really mostly keeping it to the shenanigans that went down in Africa. Not just the kiss, though we gotta discuss that, of course. And some, other moments here and there. And also some behind-the-scenes tidbits to give you on the show, including a new recast. Hey, Brooklyn. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. I had my show on Friday. It went pretty well. I was in my head a little bit that day, so I didn't feel like I gave my best performance, but I still had a blast on the stage. And people seemed to enjoy it. I signed my first autograph, which was really cool. In all fairness, it's someone that I know, and she just saw that we had our set list, and she's like, now you have to sign it. So cheers to that. And my stand-in, Ryan, he did a pretty good job. So yeah, it all worked out pretty well, all things considered. And I even managed to run to another concert after mine was over. Because I had another friend of mine playing not too far down the road from where I was. And I really wanted to catch his set, because the last two times I've played, his show has been at the same time. But now I was in a better position to go see his performance. So all in all, a good weekend. Hey, Nathan. Just chit-chatting before we get into the GH stuff. I was talking about the show. Show went well. No show officially coming up next. For sure, I'm not going to do one in October. Aiming to get something planned for November. Yo, yeah, we can talk about that too. I wasn't thinking about that, but I did actually watch Grotesquerie as well. The first 3 episodes that were on Disney Plus, which I didn't realize it would be, but thank God it was, because I don't have FX. Yeah, we got to see Nicholas's whole bare ass and doing some S&M stuff on that show. My lord. We won't talk too much about Grotesquerie just yet. I don't know, I don't want to necessarily do an after show, because if we're getting 3 episodes on Disney Plus, and I'm assuming we're not getting 3 episodes on FX, I think I'll just wait till the end again just to talk about that whole season overall. And we're clearly not getting the whole season at the same time if they're just airing the first 3 episodes. But I will say that this character is very different than Eric Mendez and Spencer Cassadine. So we're seeing him work a whole new angle. Laura, hey Laura, long time no chat. We don't get to see each other too often. Nicholas, well, he wasn't completely in the buff. To be fair, he was during Monsters, that series, but we didn't really see a clear shot of it. It was behind a shower thing, if anything, we've seen his co-stars bear everything more so. But yeah, in the Grotesquerie, I think I'm saying it right. He does some S&M stuff, and he's wearing sort of assless. I don't know what the actual assless chaps. Basically, his whole ass was out. And yeah, you said NSA could have just made an OnlyFans at this rate. Good lord, I was so confused as to why he's beating himself. Well, you know, he needs to. He needs to. Simple as that. No, we can get Hulu in Canada too. I just don't personally have it. But Hulu is a thing here. Because I've had it before. And I think I only got it to watch one specific thing, and then I stopped it. I just like got a trial and then I got rid of it. And to be fair, I used to have FX as well. Because FX is where I watched American Horror Story. Was it cute? His ass? I mean, it's a decently shaped ass, sure. Yeah, we got 3, well, Disney Plus, I got 3 episodes. Watched the first 3. At least I think it was the first 3. It had to have been the first 3. Maybe I can just, no, I'll check later. I'm pretty sure it was 3. Because Nicholas appeared in the second one. He wasn't in the first. Maybe it was 2. I don't know. I was half out of it. It felt like it was 3. It was shocking, y'all. Yeah. That show is morbid, yo. Like, there is some grotesque stuff, going on in that show. Some very gory shit. But it's intriguing. The show definitely gives off American Horror Story vibes. It's just like the only difference between that show and this one doesn't. There's obviously a main character in this one. Maybe 2 main characters. Whereas American Horror Story is very much an ensemble show. This one feels like a show with a main character or 2 main characters. No, I haven't seen Travis yet, Angel. But yeah, this one feels very much like a show that's based around a couple of characters, the nun and the cop, whereas everyone else is supporting. So yeah, that's the only difference. But I feel like it's a good replacement for American Horror Story. Not that I think it's over. It's just there isn't a season currently, and I think a lot of that had to do with the writer's strike that kind of pushed everything back. So AHS usually would air around this time, but instead we got Grotesquerie, which I'm okay with. Then you only seen episode 1, 2. Okay, that's fair. To be fair, I discovered that that it was on Disney Plus on Saturday, and that was the day after my show, and I was tired. I was kind of coasting my way in and out of consciousness through most of it, because I was up all night after. Like, I didn't go out partying hard or anything. I just, whenever I do a show, I'm always watching whatever footage people have and just like critiquing myself, mostly harshly. Just even when like everyone is telling me it went good and all this stuff, I'm hard on myself. But I think that's most artists I've found. Yeah. But I got high praise for some of the creative moments that I had, and we got some cheers for the shots again. We got some cheers for certain songs that we did, and yeah, like mid song. We always get like the end of song cheer, but it's nice to hear cheering in the middle of a song. Yeah. Yeah, this show has some morbid undertones that are disturbing, and it's making you think, is she or is she not this? And I don't know. But because of that, it is very American Horror Story vibes, which I appreciate. And I'll probably try to rewatch when I'm more awake and alert. But I got the gist of the show, and I had enough attention to kind of focus on what the plot is and where this show is likely going. And I'm intrigued by it. But that's all I'll say on the show, because I'll do probably a live stream pertaining to that show by the time all the episodes have aired and I watch the whole season. So yeah, just to give my overall thoughts, same way I did for Monsters. Feels weird seeing a guy that is 5 years younger than me doing all of this. Yeah. I just feel like, I know that we haven't seen Nicholas since he was super young or anything, but we've gotten to know him as an actor in the last 3 years, and I think because he played a character that we watched grow up, even though he wasn't the one playing him the whole time, it's doing weird things to my mind. Like it feels like I'm watching a child just show his bare ass. Like someone that I've loved since a child, even though that is a character that I loved, not an actor, and the actor we only met as an adult. So like it's a weird thing. And Kaiwan, you said something about musicians earlier, so I'm just going back to that comment because we got distracted by grotesquerie. And you had said, "Oh, your life as a musician is pretty good. I wanted to be a musician, but I never really got a chance to get a guitar. My mom never gave me one." It's funny, my mom had one, and I never learned to play it, and she's already given it away. My mom used to play guitar in a band when she was younger than I am now. Much younger than I am now, actually. But hey, I only really started doing these gigs this year. Literally this year. April is when I got a band. And I'm 34 now. I was 33 when I started with a band and everything. I always did my own demos, as you guys know, and I did a little live stream performing once. But in terms of doing it in like a way where I'm performing somewhere and selling tickets for a show and getting paid for gigs, like that's a whole new thing for me. And honestly, I had a heart-to-heart with my bassist Rob today, just about like starting late in the game, and I've been in the music scene in different ways for the last 6 or 7 years, I'd say, and because all my friends group is like musicians that have been in the game for forever, it feels like to me. I just feel like I have such a long way to go before anything happens, and I'm lucky that I know all these people, because it's like taking note on like their passion and how they go about doing their art, how they go about putting on shows for themselves, and what goes into the mixing and all that. I'm lucky that I've been there enough to kind of been able to utilize that to my advantage. So my shows, they sound really clean in terms of like production, and so like it's that in itself is nice. And now it's all about, at this point, kind of building a brand, building an audience, and going from there. And I have a long way to go on that front for sure, but these rooms aren't exactly full, and that's okay. Because my goal, at least on what I can control right now, is just to like become better at performing. Like, I don't think I do a bad job, considering I'm just really getting into performing now. But I got a long way to go, and I got some goals to reach. Alright though, enough about me. We're here for General Hospital stuff. So I don't know if you guys want to get into like the plots first, or we should get into the behind the scenes tidbits, because there is some behind the scenes news that I do want to discuss as well, but we can either save that for last, or just get it out of the way. So the ball is in your court. Yeah, nearly a 2000s, baby. Well, let's see. What the hell was all of this? That sounds like you want to get into the plot. All right. So let's just do that. Let's just do that. Oh, Kelly Monaco stuff? Oh, okay. Oh, Kelly Monaco stuff first. Okay. Okay, well, we can get into the Kelly Monaco stuff. Because it's just quick anyway. Kelly's filmed her last scenes. She filmed her last scenes 2 days ago. So Friday. You know, her mom gave like a lovely message on her, you know, wishing the fans all the best and thanking them for being so supportive and loving at this time. It's obviously a hard chapter for her, Kelly, to experience. I don't think, as far as I know, unless something has been stated since then, that Kelly's made any kind of statement apart from the one that got deleted. She kissed our man. Oh my god, y'all. So yeah, I obviously, with her having just shot her last scenes, they're likely not going to air till the end of October, early November. So in like November sweeps thing. Sweeps, as if it's still around. But it's the thing that I'm like kind of annoyed at, and this is only if this is how things are going to pan out. To me, it felt like the way that Sam is likely going to die is to drown, and she talked about that a couple weeks ago already, and so now my mind is like, you mean to tell me that we ain't going to get her going into the water until a month from now? Like, what? Unless they have a much better plan for her death, in which case, like, I hope so. I want her to go out with a bang, not a fizzle. Yeah, November sweep sounds right. She just filmed, and they usually air 4 to 6 weeks in advance, depending on editing and stuff. So we'll see. But in the midst of that, we are also getting a recast for a character that will be returning. The character is Lucas Jones, and he will now be played by Van Hansis, who was on As the World Turns as Luke, ironically, who also was a gay character, ironically, and he's actually gay in real life as well. So it'll be intriguing. I think we've had a conversation about this. I actually watched As the World Turns specifically for Luke and Noah's story, because it was really like the first gay relationship shown on American soaps, the first gay kiss as well, I believe, at least between two men. I don't know if the girl characters, the lesbian characters on, was it All My Children, were first? Sam's exit does feel rushed. Yeah. Or it's not so much that it feels rushed. It's just that it feels like there's no effort being made to make sure that it's a noteworthy exit. That's what's bothersome about it. I mean, we found out that she was being let go about a month ago. They've written the script, and they've just shot it now. And we're not seeing that for at least another month and a bit. So yeah. Angel, you said, where is Ryan Carnes? Anyone knows? He just seems to be doing his own thing. Like, he doesn't seem to want to come back to GH. I think he did for Jackie out of respect for Jackie. during her memorial episode, but like he clearly had no desire to do GH. He didn't talk about GH much. He's out there doing his own thing. I think he's also in a band as well, and he's just doing other stuff, and that's fine. Nathan, you said you heard that he didn't want to be put on contract for Lucas. I mean, maybe not, but there's a lot of GH characters that aren't on contract that get a lot of airtime, so we'll see. I hope that he gets used more than the brief recast that we got of Lucas after Ryan Carnes first left. Post Frank Valentini era. Gay character couple in 93. Interesting, okay. Maybe first one on ABC, I don't know. Wait, no, ABC wasn't a As World Turns. That was that NBC? I can't remember now. Or CBS. It was CBS, I think. But yeah, I want to see him. I want to see Lucas on screen a bit more. I'm glad that we're getting a doctor character returning to the canvas. I feel like because I got Van Hansis, like they plan on making somewhat of an effort for this character. I just don't know what the game plan will be. Obviously Brad is back at GH, so it could tie into that. Realistically, I would like to see him being more of a doctor and maybe finding a different romance. I don't need like a Brad and Lucas reunion, to be honest. I know that Brad's probably gotten a better life for himself at this point. Like, he seems probably on the straight and narrow, though I do think that Portia's probably going to frame him for the Heather Weber test results, because they're going to come out. Rick is getting tests at a different lab in a different hospital right now. So the truth will come out on that front. I do think Portia will eventually get caught, but not before she accuses Brad of doing it, because it's the lab and, you know, it's the perfect cover for her. We need to make the Black Doctor bisexual for Lucas. No, listen. As much as I would like him to bat on my team because he's a handsome man, I need Jordan. I mean, he could still be with Jordan and be bisexual. It's true, for sure. But, like, can we just focus on him and Jordan to give her a love interest finally? Like, I don't want him eyeing Lucas, alright? Let's just give Jordan a damn chance here. But yeah, I'm intrigued as to why they're bringing him back. And excited to see what they do. And just excited to have another doctor on canvas. Because now we got Willow being a nurse again. We got Brad back in the hospital. We got Elizabeth showing more focus as a nurse. Of course, there's Portia and TJ. Let Jordan have a man. Good Lord. Exactly. That's how I feel. And Luke is coming back. So, yeah. It feels like they're rebuilding the hospital again. So, thank goodness. But yeah, beyond that, let's get into the plot. We're mostly discussing the Africa stuff because that was kind of the bulk of it. We kind of recapped Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on Wednesday's live stream. So, Thursday and Friday's episode really took up the bulk of, or the Africa story took most of the time of the episodes on Thursday and Friday. And sorry if I'm jumbling my words, y'all. I'm still a little bit tired. It's been a weekend, alright? It has been a weekend. But yeah, suffice to say, things took quite the turn in Sidwell's compound in Africa last week. Sidwell lured Anna and Jason into a trap, bringing them into his compound, only to force them to, you guessed it, play a damn card game. When Lucky was like, welcome to my world, isn't it fun? I was like, I felt that, man, like, because watching Lucky play card games for weeks has been a nightmare. Angel, you said she hasn't had any since Zeke. And that was a surprise. She deserves consistent. Yeah, like, why did they bring him on only to just, like, have him disappear into thin air? Made no sense. Yeah, Jordan deserves a good love life, especially after Curtis. It's true, it's true. But yeah, anyway, so as annoyed as I was that we were going to get yet another card game scenario, things finally got interesting in the compound. So basically, the rules were in these games that if if Jason wins, Holly and Lucky will die, and if Lucky wins, Anna and Jason will die, and if Sidwell wins, then everyone dies. So either way, Sidwell couldn't lose. Someone was dying that wasn't him, no matter what. Lucky's return has been a waste for sure. Yeah, but now that he's getting back to Port Charles, hopefully it gets interesting. But yeah, so while they were playing the game, Holly and Anna were locked in a cell together, and I actually really enjoyed the conversation that they had with each other. They were reminiscing on how they felt about each other when they first met, and their ties to Robert. And Holly, you know, I feel like the relationship between Holly and Anna has always been very interesting in that they like can't stand each other, but at the same time have a respect for each other because of all that they've been through throughout the years, especially in the more recent returns of Holly. There's definitely been like a respect for each other in that sense. But yeah, Anna made a point to say that she took note of how Holly really made Robert happy, and then Holly was like, I refuse to be the one to tell Robert that you have died. So like her goal was to make sure that Anna gets out there alive, because she doesn't want to be the one to tell him and want to be like, you know, I just left her there to die. Now meanwhile, Jason purposely loses the game because obviously his goal is to get Lucky back in Port Charles and out of this alive. Now, prior to this, Sidwell had left the room before the game had even started, and Jason was able to tell Lucky at least a little bit as to what's going on in Port Charles. He just said he needed to get him home. Lulu needs him. It's a life and death situation. So I think before the game even started, Lucky probably had a sense that Jason was going to fold anyway. But yeah, Jason gets taken back to the cell while Holly gets dragged back to the room where they're having the game from the cell that Anna was in. And Anna and Jason, they have this very emotional realization that they're going to die. It's so funny because, like, we've seen Anna in far worse situations over the years where, like, with, like, actual scary villains, this guy is just, like, kind of ridiculous. Like, they have all these characters telling him that he's, like, this big heavy hitter with, like, shady businesses and all this stuff. But he comes off as such an unserious character because he's just so obsessed with, like, winning card games that he never wins. Like, it's so dumb to me. It's such a, like, caricature of a character. So seeing these emotional realizations between Anna and Jason that they're gonna die just seems, I don't know, it seems a little bit jarring. And so they hug it out, and then the hug leads to a kiss, and big ick on my front. I, like, my legitimate reaction was, really, Jason? Robin's mom? Really? You're gonna kiss Robin's mom? Like, like, I get it, Anna is hot, Vanilla gorgeous, but, like, it's the making out with your ex's mom thing. Like, that's like straight up Chad shit. You know what I mean? I've never seen Anna Afraid like that. I've seen Anna Afraid like that. There was this story, and maybe if there's any long term, like decades long, 80s fans, you might recall the story that I'm thinking about. It involved some crazy madman that wasn't Faison that, like, held her hostage for the longest time, and I think it was Winter. I want to say it was Winter. Maybe I'm wrong about that part, but But he was a madman. I think he kidnapped her. I think he was a character that she had faced before, and he turned out he was alive and held her hostage for whatever reason. And he had like a dog like watching her too, and like a vicious dog that would have like attacked her if she left, and she seemed broken in that cell. So I don't know. That's where I've seen her more afraid than what she was here. Laura, you said I want Portia to get caught and lose her job and not have it be slapped on the wrist. Yeah, I think she'll lose her job, and maybe Isaiah will get the job. We'll see. And Sandy, I could not believe they kissed either. I know that people like were like kind of like, is this gonna happen? I did not, like, to me it didn't feel like they were playing their sort of, I don't know, their scenes together as like potential romantic interest. I always, like, to me it felt like Anna's always had a respect for Jason because of his relationship with Robin, and how they've always stayed good friends, him and Robin. That he genuinely cares about her daughter, and because of Jason's morals and principles, while he does work for Sonny, he does clearly have it in him to be a good person. He's just got unwavering loyalty that kind of screws him over. And I think Anna gets that and wants better for him because of who she sees. Like, she sees a good person in him. Like, that is the vibe I've always gotten. So this kiss felt so weird to me. I was wondering the way Jason was saying he can help her and help Sonny too. Man, I don't know. I'm not here. Suffice to say, I think it's obvious. I am not here for Jason and Anna. I would be surprised if anyone in this chat actually is into them as a potential couple. It'll be interesting to see what goes on from then. I mean, they could also write this as like, this was like, we thought we were gonna die, we made out because like this was it, like one last kiss, and they could leave it at that. They probably won't. Like, they have weird ways that they just want to like make the audience talk. You know, I think what I find is there's like it's like an unspoken truth within like Hollywood and TV shows that they don't care at this point, especially in the year, in like the era of sort of algorithms, that they just want people talking. They don't care if it's negative comments, positive comments, whatever, as long as people are commenting their shit in their social media and watching the show and being mad about it and saying their opinions and how they really feel. That's what they care about. At the end of the day, they're going to do things that will create a reaction, whether it's good or bad, and that's what's going to keep them going. It's the world we live in, y'all. The world we live in. So sick of this poker shit. Just once I would like to see them play something like Crippled Mr. Onion. Well, I mean, they're out of there now. So let's talk about the rest. So the guards showed up to drag them Anna and Jason out to their deaths, which obviously didn't happen because Jason and Anna fought for their damn lives, as were Holly and Luke. Or sorry, not Holly and Luke. Holly and Lucky. They were fighting Sidwell. Jason and Anna eventually get overpowered and dragged to the spot where they're going to get killed. And Lucky and Sidwell struggle, and Holly just bolts for some reason. And we didn't even see her like bolt. We just like, she was in one shot, and the next she was just gone out of the room. Anyway, so once Anna and Jason were brought out to the site where they were going to get killed, which was outside of the studio, so we got to see like night sky and what I thought was the moon, but was probably just really a spotlight. Um, and, you know, just as they're about to get gunned down, thankfully back in Port Charles, Jack Brennan made the order to send in a military effort to rescue them. And so the military that he sends over bombs the damn compound. Honestly, that was an impressive stunt by the standards of like the soap budget that we have today. That was a pretty impressive explosion that looked fairly realistic compared to other ones that we've seen on the show over the most recent years. It was good. It was good. I liked that scene. And thankfully, when the first bomb went off, it spooked the guards that were still alive after that point away. And so Anna and Jason, they get up because they're still okay. They go back into the compound. They grab Lucky, and then they go back to that same area outside. Only to be greeted by Holly in a getaway vehicle. And I love that while they were just like staring at the car in disbelief and confusion, she just like looks out the window and she's like, "Don't just stand there, get in!" Like, I love it. Emma Samms is so good at like comedy in like a serious situation. Like it's just, it was so good. And we got like the car shot with like probably like what do you call those? Those little like, not a webcam, the GoPro camera footage from inside the car. It just looked really well done. Like, I was impressed by that overall sort of action sequence. I appreciated it, truly. And then they make their way to the airfield where Jack had a WSB private jet waiting for them to make their return. There are other ways to assure someone they will survive or everything is going to be okay. This is true. Jason only kissed Anna with the quickness to ensure everything is going to be alright. No, I don't know. Like it could have been played off as like they're gonna die and they want one last kiss. That could have been the thing. I don't know. Jason has his vices, you know. I mean, he got a whole ass tattoo sleeve on him now. But yeah, again, I love these scenes. I'm sure this location shoot probably was just done on the lot of the studio, you know, on the outside of it, but it looked cool nonetheless. And for me, Finola is just so damn fun to watch in these action scenes as well. Like, she's always been really good at them from the 80s till now. So I like seeing her in scenes like this. I want to see her in more scenes like this. The only thing that I would change, aside from the obvious kiss between Jason and Anna, that's obvious. I also would have just, like, not had Jason been a part of this and thrown Jack in there. Because, to me, Jack is a really compelling new character. He has ties to Anna and the WSB, something that Holly, Anna, and himself are all connected to. So it would have been fun for me to see them and Lucky in those scenarios. So, and maybe Robert and Felicia a part of it in some way or another too, but for sure at least Jack. Like, the character to me is far more compelling than to just have him constantly sitting in an office for the WSB and like fawning over Carly. Like, really, like, it just, I don't know, it bothers me. But to that end, what he did is probably going to bite him in the ass, because he was doing that without the head honcho's permission to do so, to use military action in a different country. So we'll see what happens there. We also seen like another agent that was in there with like an accent, and very, very, very pretty woman. And I don't know if we'll see more of her. But hey, if we can get more WSB stuff on the show, then I'm totally here for it. Crystal, you said, where is Kate's son? Has anyone told his autistic son that his father is dead? Most likely, but there was at one point, like, someone had asked him about his son and like how long it's been since he's seen him. and he kind of kept quiet about that. And I feel like maybe he wasn't on good terms with his son. Although I would love to see Stone on the show again for sure. Coretta, you said I like the chemistry between Jack and Carly. Don't get me wrong. I think that he and Carly have good chemistry. It's just that like the character is so compelling to me in the sense that like they need to give him more to do, because they're obviously gonna keep Carly in like this weird situation with Sonny. You know, that's another thing going down. Diane is really wanting Sonny and Carly to play hard as a couple falling in love to make sure that he gets away with murdering Kate. So I don't know. Just have him do WSB stuff, and he can still do that and still be with Carly in the future if they get past this storyline with Alexis and Sonny. But yeah. Laura, you said I love Jason and Anna. I always want adventures with Anna and the WSB Port Charles people. Jack would be great for adventures too, like you say. I mean, yeah, we always seen Jason on adventures too, but to me, I feel like I just personally get like PTSD from like the Guza era, where Jason was the hero in every story, where even when it didn't make sense for him to be there, and like him being there is already a stretch, like because they've written Carly to suddenly care about Lulu again, and acting like they were super close always, all these years. They've always been super close. They were when she was younger for sure. The fallout happened when she sent Brooklyn to break her and Dante up, and they've not been good since then. So like it's just it's annoying for me to see him a part of the story. But yeah, I would have loved to see Jack in there in the trenches with them. Laura, you said they needed a reason for Jason to feel all guilty when Sam dies, and then Anna's kiss will be the reason. They need him to be broody and grief-stricken in show range. Oh boy. I mean, I want to see how far they take Anna and Jason thing, but it feels like a setup for him to have a guilt spiral. We'll see. Time will tell. I think the actor that plays Jason wants this because he doesn't want to be around Sonny anymore. I mean, I don't know. Like, him and Mo seem close still, but at the same time, like, he knows the character of Jason, and I think he knows the character well enough to know that he would always be loyal to Sonny and Carly. So it's hard to get a character that's like decades deep into that sort of bond between those three. Especially because, you know, he put them ahead of Sam, which is something that at one point we seen him swear he wouldn't do anymore, and that's just not a thing anymore. So I don't know. It's a messy situation. But yeah. Another thing that was going down back in Port Charles while all of that was happening in Africa was Elizabeth and Felicia were having a conversation about the deadbeat dads in their lives. So Lucky and Frisco. Felicia asks how Elizabeth is feeling with the idea that Lucky will be back in town. And she's just really taking things as they come. She wants Aiden to have a relationship with his father, if given the chance to. Because when you think about it, Lucky has been out of Aiden's life since he was literally an infant baby. Like, he has not been in town since then. So at least on the long term, we're aware that he's visited once or twice. For sure once when Jake was brought back alive, but again during Laura and Kevin's marriage, but off screen. Nicholas's funeral off screen. Like, he's been around. He's likely visited Lulu too since in the jail, or not in the jail, in the coma. Don't understand why they want Elizabeth to be with Lucky. They seem to be pushing them together too much. Like, it just makes sense. Elizabeth is single. Lucky, we know, has always loved her to a sense. I mean, here's the thing. compared to the last time that these two were together, Elizabeth is in a very different place in her life. She's not as toxic of a character anymore. Like, so I'm okay with them exploring who they could be together now. You know, obviously after that conversation with Felicia, and after Lucky and Holly and Anna and Jason are making their way back to the States, they're in the plane and Lucky calls the hospital, probably to get an update on Lulu, and Elizabeth picks up the phone. They were obviously they felt some kind of way about hearing each other's voice over the phone. So I feel like we're going to get a slow burn back to this couple. And like I said, why not? We know Finn ain't coming back. She already friend-zoned Rick pretty hard. So we might as well see how this pans out. Truthfully, Elizabeth, like I said, is in a less toxic place than she was the last time those two were together. You know, she raised her sons to be decent human beings. She's now head nurse at the hospital. Epiphany mentored her. She's grown and matured a lot. Now, Lucky, on the other hand, we still don't really know what's up beyond that he's clearly been throwing himself in some dangerous situations. And, you know, in the sort of hallucination scene that he had with Elizabeth when he was still being locked up in that jail cell, he's always clearly ran away from home. And I'm hoping that the next story that we see now that he's back in town will be for him to face those demons head on. Because at this point, his family needs him. Lulu, you know, she's going to need her big brother. Hopefully his kidney or whatever she needs will work. I feel like it won't. Something else is going to happen. And I feel like they'll need to find Charlotte. That's my guess. But I think he's going to realize just how much Aiden needs him and how much Laura has needed him with Nicholas being in jail. And, you know, she's raising Nicholas's son on her own. Or, with Kevin, obviously. But, like, in a time where she is the mayor of the town and, you know, she's not supposed to be starting new with like an infant baby. She's like, that wasn't in the cards for her. So, you know, Lucky could step up as the uncle. Maybe. Because he's not got a whole lot going on in his life right now. Liz was helping Nick lock up a pregnant woman over a year ago. What maturity. Well, she was being a nurse, you know? She was still being a nurse. And to that end, she still decided to speak up and turn Nicholas in for that. So, you know, she went forward with the information. But I mean, in terms of like a relationship, like she's far less toxic, you know? She's not going around cheating on her significant others anymore. That's all I meant. And she, you know, she hated the prospect, but at the same time, like, we can't dispute that oh my gosh, Esme, I was drawing a blank there. That Esme was like a vile person who also knocked her the F out. Like, and like, you know, unknowingly potentially killed people. So, you know, I don't see Elizabeth as a mean monster. I don't see Elizabeth as a mean monster at all. If you're saying that because she put her foot down for how Finn was treating her, like, I applauded her for that. Like, sorry. If your toxic ass wants to sit and drink yourself into a stupor and screw all your friends and family over, then Elizabeth had every right to get out of that situation. Like, yeah, there's always, obviously with addiction, there's the sense of like, you need to see it as a disease, and she does, but that doesn't mean she needs to tolerate the behavior that stems from that disease and to just let it happen to her and let that abuse happen. And she saw that and she got herself out of that. She didn't want her kids to see that. She's like, we're done here. So, I don't know. That's my take on that. But yeah, suffice to say, well, I think Lucky is gonna be back in town and probably build a relationship with his son again, and learn about him and just get to know him. I think at some point he's probably gonna have to go back to Africa regardless to find Laura and Kevin, because apparently they're still out there looking for him, and nobody's thinking to call them to let them know. I get it, Jeannie's on vacation, like they gotta be off screen a little bit longer, but like, you know, it's just insane. Like, no one called her to let her know that they've tracked down where Lucky is, that Anna and Jason were going after him. Like, I don't know. An email. Surely she has access to a phone. Surely someone could have kept her posted. She still committed a crime. Yeah, and she confessed to it. That's the difference. Like, yeah, she confessed and got off of it because of, you know, coming forward with the information. But, like, she wasn't outed for the crime. She saw that she did a bad thing and went to the police because, you know, all this stuff. Just be sure someone is dealing with alcoholism is not a good excuse to treat you like crap, guys. You deserve love and respect at all times. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the addictions that people have, like, is not an excuse to be like, well, they're addicted to this, I should just tolerate this. Like, no, that is not the case. Like, you have every right to be like, you need to get out. If this is the life you want, get the F out of my place. We're done. Get help or not, but, like, you can't be here anymore. Like, put your foot down for that stuff. Yeah, and that's any addiction. Whether it's alcoholism, drugs, doesn't matter. Like, you know, you can say, like, you have a problem, and if you are going to just go all in and not get the help you need, then what can we do? And, you know, that's why people stage interventions, because, like, if things get to a bad point, like, and they aren't hearing you, the hope is that you hear all of these people and you see what it's doing to them, and you hopefully get help because of that. There are situations where if you decide not to get help, we're going to lay out the consequences. If you decide to continue down this road, it is your choice to do it. However, the consequence is that you can't be in our lives anymore, or, like, you can't have access to this thing and that thing. And so that's, you know, consequences for your actions. You want to live the life you live, then there's consequences for your actions. Is little Ace still at the Q's boarding house? Yeah, apparently. I mean, Laura and Kevin aren't there, so Tracy and the nannies are taking care of poor Ace. You heard the dog, and she agrees. My dog is a girly, but yeah, likely she saw a cat or another dog outside. But she has sat and watched GH with us a lot, so who knows? It's interesting, like, that we don't really know what's going to happen with Finn, because we know he's not coming back to the show. We had Tracy mention Finn this week with Stella, which is actually the next thing I wanted to talk about anyway. Just Tracy. But she had mentioned that she's not spoken to Finn at all. Not once. Since he went to rehab. Which is sad, but, like, I get it. I feel like Tracy feels guilty for the way that she sort of made this happen. You know, like, that she was the one that had to call it in and get Violet out of that situation and like, show him himself. But yeah, I'm just curious, like, if they're just, like, if they're going to have Violet leave town and live with him. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Plot device baby is still at the queues. But yeah, so anyway, but as for the rest of Stella and Tracy's conversation, they spoke about Tracy's behavior and her anger towards Sasha and Cody for having that dinner party with his family, and Stella kind of made her see that she just doesn't want to lose a good friend in Cody, and she feels like he's slipping away because he's got a girlfriend and a family and probably won't spend much more time with her, and she's already lost all of her closest friends, and closest family as well. And so with that in mind, Tracy goes back to the queues, and she actually walks in on Sasha and Cody doing the dirty all over his table, and they're assuming that like Tracy's gonna fire her and all this stuff, and she's just there to apologize for how she treated them after that picnic. So I don't know, it's sweet. It was like a sweet, heartfelt moment between Tracy and Cody and Sasha, yes, and also a good heartfelt conversation with Tracy and Stella. I like their friendship. Chris Van Etten, one thing I've always applauded him for is that he knows how to kind of build these friendships and have these heartfelt moments between characters within his writing. That's something that I always enjoyed during his last tenor, and I'm glad that that's kind of back. Elizabeth, having been a part of a Regaim that had a lot of action, wrote this recent action sequence in Africa quite well, in my opinion. So if we can get a good balance of that 50-50, I feel like there could be hope for this pairing as co-head writers. That's my hope. I'm rooting for them. I think there are moments where the show has been boring, but I'm hoping that they're finding their footing and making note of what the people are enjoying and what they aren't. Because the show needs them to do that and buckle down and find a way to make the show must-see daytime television. Kaiwan, you said you think Tracy's got feelings for Cody. She did say that Cody reminded her of Luke, which I don't see it. The only thing that I could see that Cody had in common in Luke was his ability to get someone that he cares about out of danger, the way that he rescued Sasha from that jail cell and the asylum. That was very on brand for like a Luke character, and so maybe that's what she meant, but I don't see feelings there for sure. I don't. And she even said that she thinks that Cody and Sasha are a cute couple, and I think that she sincerely meant that, and that she's genuinely happy for him. But yeah, again, I hope the writing team finds their footing as a duo. Now, what was I gonna say? Just some other points to make on the show, or little plot points that we've seen in the show the rest of the week, just to kind of give my thoughts on them. We've seen Sam versus Carly. Carly getting confronted by Sam for clearly covering for Sunny, and Sam is like begging Carly to help, and Carly's playing dumb and saying it sounds like Alexis got herself in this situation, and really just going all in for Sunny. And I hate that so much. Like, I'm irritated because of the way Sam was written throughout even those scenes, but also for Carly for just going all in on Sunny, who murdered an FBI agent. Like, yeah, a vile one, but like, dude, like, Carly should not have been loyal. But I'm hoping, if you guys caught it, at some point Sunny had a conversation with Diane, and he said, like, so reassuredly that Carly is not going to mess this up. Carly is going to make sure that I stay out of jail. Like, he sounds so sure of that it almost felt like a warning that perhaps it wasn't going to pan out that way. And if Carly chooses to get Alexis out of that situation over Sunny, then I will give Carly props for that if that happens. Because like she got out of Sunny's life and was building, you know, a life away from him. Obviously, she's always going to be somewhat a part of it because of the daughters. But at some point, like, she needs to stop being so damn loyal just because of how it would devastate her kids. Like, that is the life that your ex-husband chose to live. And if if they lose the daughters, it is not on her. Like, if he loses the respect of his daughters and their daughters lose a father, it is not on her. You know, she will not be the one to blame, even if she is the one to turn Sunny in. At the end of the day, Sunny made his choices in life, and he's got to deal with the consequences, whether people will help him out or not. That's how I see it. Remember, Sam's baby saved Christina. Now she will save Lulu, but Sam got tested already. Sam got tested. She wasn't a match. Because, yeah, Sam offered to get tested for Dante. What else? The writers remembered that Robert and Diane were a thing again because it felt like they forgot all this time. But Diane was pretty busy policing Sunny and Carly's love lives. And, you know, putting on a show for a public audience. Which they did at the Metro Court. It led to some interesting conversations between Sunny and Natalia as well. Natalia's clearly interested in Sunny, but she's also like, I have a rule: never date a man who is in a situationship with someone else. So we'll see. I for one, like, I get that the two actors have chemistry for sure, but I just dislike Natalia so much, like, that I'm not here for it. If she was playing someone else that wasn't like a homophobe, that like has so little regard for her daughter and how her daughter felt in her relationship, and like was like asking Christina to break up with her so that she could have a career, like that, all that, I'm like, ugh. She's just such an unlikable character. Which sucks because she's a likable actress. I think that she's very gorgeous. She's a good actress. Like, if she were any other character, like, I'd be all in. But, you know, sick of them just sticking Natalia in a scene. Yeah, like, it feels like, why did we keep her and not Blaze? Like, it seems so ridiculous. She's like a cross between Carly and Nina. Yeah, I suppose. A little bit of Brenda sprinkled in that. Yeah. Do I think they're chem testing Molly and Dex? Maybe. I don't know. I hope that Molly and TJ can stay together, though. Like, I'm rooting for them as a couple because we've seen them since high school. I don't want the loss of this baby to be the thing that breaks them up. Like, I really don't. What else to say? Sorry, my allergies are acting up if you can't tell by my red cheeks at this point. So I'm not going to stay on too much longer. Lucy and Martin had a reunion, a cold one. Martin is not here for Lucy anymore. It is so weird hearing him with less of an accent and without a beard. He just seems like a different character. But he like put his foot down and was like, we're not getting back together. I'm over you. Like, bye. Like, just shut down. Maybe Dex and her are gonna plan to kill Sunny. Oh my god, that'd be crazy. I watched the actress that plays Molly's interview with Maurice. It was a nice, like, 30-minute conversation on state of mind. It was cool to get to know her as a person. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for like the plots that were intriguing. Oh, James told Ned about Dirty Drew and Weeping Willow. That was a thing too. if I were to guess how this is gonna pan out, Ned is gonna use this secret to get Drew to back him as head of ELQ. That's what I feel. That's what I feel is gonna happen there. I almost forgot about that though, Sandy. Thanks for reminding me. Well, I knew James finding out about them, like, had to come out in some way. I was just, like, curious how it would. And now we know. So, yeah. I think we're going to see some classic Quartermain blackmail going on to keep the peace in the family, so to speak. But, yeah, that's all I kind of had to say on GH. I'm looking forward to Lucky being back in town now. I think, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like we're not going to get too many episodes of GH this week because of, is it baseball in the States? There's usually this time of year where there's like 1 or 2 episodes airing a week for 1 week. Ned will use this information with the quickness. Oh yeah, totally. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I don't know how many episodes we're going to get next week for GH. But regardless, we will talk about it Sunday. I am on the fence about doing a Wednesday stream. Just because I don't know, the last few weeks have kind of taken a lot out of me in terms of like getting ready for a show and having to sort of scrounge and sort of rustle up a new guitarist for the show and rehearse with him, and again he did a good job. Like it's all a relief, but man, the stress of it was getting to me on top of like just work being really busy and all this other stuff, and like I just need a couple of just a week off from a Wednesday stream probably. But I will be back for sure on Sunday. And like I said, there's no shows coming up in the month of October in terms of my band, but I'm hopefully going to look into maybe releasing a new single soon. Stay tuned for that. Alright, but yeah, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. If you liked this live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Thank you, Brooklyn, by the way. Subscribe if you want to. And I will catch you guys this upcoming Sunday. Have a good night. Enjoy your week. We'll talk about whatever episodes air on Sunday's episode. On Sunday's live stream.